Hey Leto, I checked my links. Chinook, at least on my side of it, is still not listed on there. So when you tried to click the Chinook link, was that from like this video or was it from one of my other videos? Oh, the blue water label. Okay, all right. All right. Well, I'll check that then because that's right. I should have realized that it's under the blue water label. Well, so I'll check that right now. It may be because the company is no longer. Yeah. Okay. There it is. Let's see now. Let's see what happens here. All right. I guess. Yeah, I'm getting the same message here. It may just. It may just do be more to the fact that the Chinook is maybe they're just no longer. Yeah, I'll probably just get rid of that then because I don't think Blue Water is really active anymore. Anyways, hasn't been for some time. So I'll probably do that right now. In fact, uh, um, let me see. Actually, I'll I'll just clear that out for. I'll clear that out a little bit later. I'll just clear that out for a little late. I'll clear that, for future tapings and stuff like that. Um, let's see. Hello, back. Let's see. Sorry for all the stream problems today. Everything should be good to go on Friday. Yeah, that was unfortunate, but still enjoyed watching through. So, hey, back up. Hey, Mike. Hey, all. I started my shingles vax today. When I was at the doctor's today, sick as a dog now. Oof. Gonna go back to couch. I'll try to hang out tomorrow night. All right, I understand. Well, thanks for letting us know. I hope you feel better. Back up. That's fine, Mike. Just so you know. All right. Well, thanks for letting me know. Peace. I'll probably just have to clear that one out. The crap. Yeah, I don't think anybody's gonna worry too much about. All right, back up. Get some rest. And as always, guys, of course, I do appreciate all the likes and shares when you guys are giving to me. So we got Leto and Solid here already. That goat kind of came in to say hi. Hopefully he'll get some rest and be back better tomorrow night. So got four people in here now, so that's good. Um hey, we're coming up on 5 minutes, so maybe I'll mention what's going on for tonight. Um that's six. Oh, good. Okay. Well, so I've got four people in here now, so I guess I can go through a little bit of what's on tap for tonight. Um, got a got like five stories I'm gonna probably do tonight. Um, One is an article talking about what Marvel and DC would do. We know that we've been covering the election for the X-Men character in Marvel. There's an article that came out on CBR about about what they would do in that regard, for future, for future's sake. So, live, we'll watch it after. Cool beans. Hey ATC, hey Leto, Bad Goat, Solid Red. Hey ATC, welcome to the stream. Hey boys. So yeah, so we got an article on that, on how DC and Marvel would get fans involved, and how fans would help shape the respective universes. Um, Cartoonist Adam Ellis is accusing the makers of the short film, um, Ketranin, I think is what it's called, of plagiarizing. That's another article we'll be looking at. Also, another article on how a canceled Mega Man cartoon got a second life in comics. Also, on the anime front, we're going to be looking at a couple of profile pieces on Dragon Ball and Ultimate Muscle. So, with all that being said, Ultimate Muscle. Yeah. Yep. There's an article on it. Kinkuman. Yeah. Yep. All right, I'll be right back, guys. I just got to go off camera for a quick moment. Alrighty then. So, I guess without no further ado, we'll get started on the articles here. Okay. Alrighty then. So here's the first article. Let's see. Let's see if you guys said anything. Okay, no, nothing there. No. Got 5 people in here. Yay, 5 people. Okay, so that means that let's take a look at this article now. The first article of the night. Before the X-Men election, how fans shaped Marvel and DC's biggest stories. By asking fans to vote on the next member of the X-Men, Marvel carries on a tradition of interactive storytelling that's defined some classic stories. The X-Men are reforming as a more intentionally heroic team. And Cyclops announced that he would allow Krakoa's mutants to vote to choose the team's members, since they will serve and protect the mutants on the island and beyond above all else. However, Marvel also took this as a chance to get the fans involved. On the final pages of X-Men number 17, there was an ad for fans to vote for who they want to be the final member of the team. The options are Banshee, Polaris, Forge, Boom Boom, Tempo, Cannonball, Sunspot, Strong Guy, Marrow, and Armor. We talked a lot about this before, so while this seems like a fun idea, it isn't the first time and likely won't be the last time that Marvel or DC has allowed a popular fan vote to determine the shape of a story. Yeah, in fact, I do remember. I think, if I remember correctly, DC did that with the Killing Joke storyline too. Um, I think fans got a chance to vote on whether or not Jason Todd would die in that story or not. I think, if I remember correctly. Let's see. Now we're taking a look back at some of the other times fan votes decided the direction of comics from Marvel and DC. Legion of Superheroes, and who shall lead them? Since they will be served as human shields, more more like it. Uh, well, strong guy probably could because he's kind of more of a massy kind of guy. Banshee could create a wall of sound, so it's always possible. Okay, yeah. Uh, um, the Legion of Superheroes always seen the team vote for its leaders. After a few years where the book's creative team decided on the results, DC decided to allow fans to vote on the leaders. The news came via the letters column in Adventure Comics number 364, where fans were given until December 26th of that year, and the results were revealed by Jim Shooter and Kurt Swan's Adventure Comics number 368. So 4 issues. According to the results, there were 7,810 votes cast, and Ultra Boy won with 1,262 votes, closely followed by Mon-El with 1,160 votes. The Legion of Superheroes also showed what could happen if someone won who creators didn't want as the leader. In Superboy number 225 by Paul Levitz, James Sherman and Bob Viacek, Superboy won. However, that was against the rules as he was a part-time member. So the comic book showed Superboy attacking Wildfire for cheating to take over despite not winning. Okay, this is actually the one I was talking about. Wasn't a Killing Joke, was a Death in the Family. Batman, a Death in the Family. That was the one that I was thinking of. Not a Killing Joke. Killing Joke is when I think the Joker kind of tried to break Batman and everybody around him. He shot Commissioner Gordon. He paralyzed Barbara Gordon. So, but I think this is the one I was actually thinking of. The most infamous and controversial fan voting took place in the world of Batman comics with Death in the Family. In Batman 427 by Jim Starlin, Jim Aparo, and Mike DiCarlo, Jason Todd's own mother betrays him to the Joker, the clown prince of crime. Then beats him mercilessly with a crowbar. Um, he then blew up the building with Jason and his mother trapped inside. At the end of the issue, there were two 1-900 numbers where fans would vote to see if Robin lived or died. In the next issue, Robin was dead. There were 10,614 votes cast, and the death of Robin won by just 72 votes. I guess a lot of people didn't like Jason Todd as Robin, huh? Hey, Dave. Howdy, duo. Mike, solid, Leto, background. Hey, Dave. Welcome to the stream. Hey, Dave. Howdy, Dave. How are you today? Right, Robin must go. So, anyway, so as we continue on with the article here, let's see. Marvel versus DC. In 1996, Marvel vs. DC by Ron Martz, Peter David, Dan Jurgens, and Claudio Castellini. I believe Peter David and Dan Jurgens were involved in some of the animated series too, on the Marvel side of it. Showed heroes from the two universes battling. Um, some of the fights winners were determined by fan voting. All five of the fights fans could vote on were then placed in issue number 3. These fights all went exactly how most fans knew they would, with the fan favorite characters winning in every case. Superman beat Hulk, Spider-Man beat Superboy, um, Wolverine beat Lobo, Batman beat Captain America, and in the only surprising win, Storm beat Wonder Woman. Um, However, the last win likely due to the overwhelming popularity of X-Men comics in the 90s. Contest of Champions 2. That's Shakespeare, or it should be. There's Deathstroke and Daredevil right there. Finally, in 1999's Contest of Champions 2 by Chris Claremont, Oscar Jimenez, Eduardo. Again, Chris Claremont, another guy who I think is involved in some of the television side of it as well. It's the Oscar Jimenez, Eduardo Alpuente, and Albert Deschesney. Marvel heroes battled each other, and fans had a chance to choose winners of specific battles. There were 30 total fights in the series, and the fans were given a chance to vote on the winner of 3 of them. These fights were Mr. Fantastic versus the Hulk, Daredevil versus Deadpool, and Gambit versus Hawkeye. In Contest of Champions number 2, Hulk won the fan vote and sucked Mr. Fantastic into his mouth before chewing him up and. Yuck! Who wants to get sucked up by the Hulk, chewed up and spit out? Ew! Ew! Yucky! Yucky! Yeah! Okay. Hey, Dave. Let's see. Oh, I'm good. Full of Chick-fil-A and nuggets. Hey, action. I'm also good as it's my day off. Um, Chilled with the wifey. That sounds tasty, Leto. It was okay. Okie. Sucked up by the Hulk. Not the Hulk. She Hulk, maybe. Uh, yeah, but that's just probably something that's probably not a very good visual, being sucked up by the Hulk, chewed up and spit out. Yuck. Yucky. See, Daredevil versus Deadpool took place in Contest of Champions 2, number 4. Deadpool won the fan vote, winning when he tricked Daredevil into saving a baby that was actually a Deadman or Deadpool doll. The final of the fan voted fights came in Contest of Champions 2, number 5, where Gambit won the fan vote and handily defeated Hawkeye um, near the end of the event. Yeah. A kinetically charged card versus a kinetically charged playing card versus a trick arrow. I wonder which would win in that. Anyway, so that's the end of that article right there. Let's see how we're doing. Time 21 minutes, so we went kind of through that pretty quickly. Of course, Gambit won. He's mad. Well, when you can basically put an explosive. I mean, you can just energize the molecules of any object you touch, charge them up, and then to where they explode. Yeah, that. I mean, I could just see, you know, Gambit walking right up to Hawkeye, grabbing his bow, charging it, and then Hawkeye's bow just blowing up in his hand. Yeah, that's what he can do. That's right. His preferred method, of course, is playing cards. Though that his preferred weapon of choice is playing cards. He charges up playing cards. Yeah. So, anyways, on to the next story then. So here, the next story. Okay. Oh, here we go. Here's another one here. This was the second story I was telling you guys about that I'd be covering here. So, moving right along here. Cartoonist Adam Ellis claims short film Keratin plagiarized his work. Wow, so let's see what's going on here now. Cartoonist Adam Ellis is speaking out against an award-winning short film that Ellis says is plagiarized from one of his comics. And I think this is probably one of the scenes, I guess, that he's saying is plagiarized. Cartoonist Adam Ellis, famous for his long winning series of cartoons featured on BuzzFeed, posted a blistering charge of plagiarism on Twitter against two independent filmmakers, Andrew Butler and James Andrew Mackenzie Wilson, about their award-winning short film Keratin, which features a man burying his fingernail and a clone somehow growing from the nail. The film was posted on the website Director's Note, which features curated independent films along with interviews with the filmmakers about the film. After the interview and the film were posted on February 1st, 2021, so yesterday, Ellis posted his damning missive. His tweet read, "This film is a fully plagiarized shot for shot remake of my comic. The filmmakers didn't ask me for permission to adapt my work. They didn't even notify me they were doing so until the film had already been released and was winning awards at film festivals." Ellis then shared 8 distinctive parts of his comic and showed the corresponding part of the finished film that copied the comic's imagery. He continued to note they emailed me in October when the film was making festival rounds and asked me to help promote it. To oh boy, when I told them I didn't approve of it and asked them to pull it from festivals, they ghosted me for months. Now they've premiered it on director's note and don't even credit me by name. Hmm, that's a bit of a problem. The comic they stole is deeply personal to me, maybe the most personal comic I've ever made. I drew it shortly after I left my day job because of disputes over ownership of my personal work. The comic is about self-care, reinvention, and personal growth. He then added, after ghosting me, all the filmmakers made their accounts private and blocked me. I should have known they never intended to honor my request to pull the film. Well, if he has the email contact to them, he can easily prove that they knew what they were doing because the argument here is the argument that they could make is that they didn't know or intend to plagiarize his work. The way he's explaining it, he if he has if he has like the emails of them contacting him that's asking him to promote it, and he has those correspondence, so that would be evidence to suggest they knew what they were doing. Um, but hey, I guess it's nice to know my stories are out there winning awards, even if I'm not credited. Director's notes then pulled the film from their site and deleted the interview with Butler and Wilson. Before they did so, the directors obliquely referenced Ellis when asked about the inspiration for the film. The original concept was inspired by a short online cartoon we saw, which we developed further, drawing on our love for dystopian stories and imagery. Alex explained to Newsweek, a couple of festivals have DM'd me, said they're pulling the film, and the main actor in the film also told me he wasn't aware that it was plagiarized and he never would have signed on if he knew. It's hard to know what festivals they submitted to since the filmmakers haven't been in contact with me. However, Ellis noted that he was not currently pursuing litigation against Butler and Wilson, telling me, well, yeah, I mean, I doubt very seriously. One, this is an indie film going to a bunch of film festivals, so it's not like they're probably making a lot of money on this to begin with. So him suing them isn't really going to rectify, because it's not like he's going to make a whole bunch of money by suing them. Also, and I think a lot of the festivals and websites that are rectifying the situation by taking the film down, taking the interview down, and someone acknowledging that, okay, we screwed up, we're sorry this happened, you know. Saw that one last time. I like the ones he did about Street Fighter. Um, those were funny. Okay, so maybe there's a little bit more prior to that I should. Okay, we read that one. Let's see. I can throw other things, brochures, mints, um, any zing, really. Pete Holmes is funny. I saw that one, laugh out loud. I like the ones he did about Street Fighter. Those were funny. Out loud. I like you, Leto. Um, that's gotta suck. I feel like artists. Um, I feel for artists. There's so many not getting credit and pay they deserve. I think during the day, but I might be able to sneak it. Cool. Film festivals, laugh out loud. I bet the film festival just took it down because it didn't have enough young boy love. No, they probably took it down to protect themselves from any possible libel, any possible lawsuit. But they probably, that's probably, because you know. Anyways, let's see. All right, I've also had some lawyers reach out, and I'm keeping my options open. But I'm not interested in legal action at the moment. I don't think it would ultimately lead anywhere, but we'll see what happens. Mostly, I just want the film to be pulled. The story is personal to me, and I'm protective of it. Which I think more or less, yeah, I think it's pretty much been resolved. He just wanted the film pulled. He didn't, even, and he's right there. I doubt very seriously if he did sue, if anything would really come of it, because again, these guys were doing this at film festivals. It wasn't like they were going to make a huge amount of money on here. Okay, you know, so even if he sued them, even if he decided to sue the film festivals or the websites, again, it's not going to be all that. He's going to probably end up. It's going to be a Pyrrhic victory, basically, if he was. He's going to probably end up spending more money on the suit than what he would get out of it in return. So yeah, I did more. I'll be streaming in the afternoon on Friday. Hmm. All right. So, anyways, done with two of the stories here thus far. So I'll continue on with to the next one. All right. Okay. I'm getting myself mixed up a little bit here, where everything is. Third comic story coming up here. As soon as we find it, which is kind of also a bit of a segue into the anime side of things. So, so here's the third story of third of five tonight. For me, let's see. These are interesting stories so far, Mike. Yeah, I mean, I try to pick again, I try to focus on releases, more generalized stuff. Don't try to pick out too many things, too many spoilers. Just stuff that might be interesting or to note. I also saw Yellow Flash's video on it earlier, and I was thinking about doing the sixth story I was going to think about doing was the Marilyn Manson Evan Rachel Wood story, but I just felt that wasn't really as much niche, at least in the niche areas that we normally cover. That's more general television stuff, you know. And quite honestly, it's another just another one of those cancel culture stories or cases of woman once again, accusing man of rape, you know, not really doing much about it. So So, anyways, moving on to this next story here. Mega Man, how a canceled cartoon found a new life in comics. After the Mega Man Fully Charged TV series was canceled, the world of the show and its storylines lived on through a Boom Studios comic. And we've seen Boom Studios before. They've done a few different types of comics, like I know Power Rangers. I think is one of the comics that they do. I think Star Wars as well. Some of the Star Wars comics we've been looking at, they do those as well. So here we go. While Mega Man might be one of the most famous names in old school gaming, and they've had some anime and cartoon adaptations too. The 2018 animated series Mega Man Fully Charged faced the unenviable task of updating the classic franchise for a new generation without alienating longtime fans. But even though the show ended after one season, it lived on through through a just completed comic book from Boom Studios by AJ Marchicello, Marcus Reinhardt, and Stefano Simeone. Man with a question mark. Somebody call for Mega Man. Mega Man, or Rockman in Japan, debuted in 1987 on the NES and introduced the world to the adventure of the Blue Bomber. Mega Man ran, jumped, and shot at countless robots and super powerful robot masters. I know Leto in particular, and maybe Solid as well. You guys are probably the gamers of the group. I'm sure you guys have quite a bit to say about this. Um, my wife collects everything Marilyn Manson, so she's heard about it. Rock, yeah. In Japan, they called him Rockman. That Mega Man cartoon was an unfortunate failure. Though 2018 one, I guess they just need to stop messing around and make an anime series set in the X timeline, or maybe adapt Legends. Um, Twitter was passing out unreleased animation cells of the cartoon that was supposed to be made. Some lucky guy won the auction and showed them off. Not really. Uh, Here's some response to what I said about in the game. Okay. Anyways, let's see. And the super powerful robot masters, culminating in the climactic battle with the evil Dr. Wily. Mega Man had multiple sequels on the NES, which proved so popular that a 1994 cartoon was produced. The cartoon was faithful in representing the story and characters of the NES games well and lasted for 2 seasons before being canceled due to budget constraints. Yeah, there have been a few. I think I watched 2003 Mega Man anime a few months back myself. So, um, unlike that show and Mega Man's other TV adventures, Mega Man Fully Charged was not based directly on any previous Mega Man video game and was not a continuation of any previous show. Fully Charged was designed to more closely emulate his style and themes of the classic NES Mega Man titles, featuring a squatter, more simplistic design for Mega Man, while also incorporating classic 8-bit visuals and original music from the NES games. The story centered on Mega Man's life as a young boy in Silicon City, as he lived with his father, Dr. Light, his sister, Suna, and his companion, Mega Mini. Classic villains and characters were woven into a new narrative that focused on a battle between robots and humans, with Mega Man caught in the middle. After the series ended, fully charged comic book continuation continued on many of the show's plot lines in a somewhat truncated manner. Okay. Um, in the series, Mega Man named Aki struggles to understand his station in life as situations around him began to spiral further and further out of control. Skullman, a powerful robot monster, leads an army of robots to attack Silicon City in an attempt to eradicate all humans so that the robots may live freely. Skullman, disappointed in Mega Man for siding with humans, feels that he is a traitor to his own kind. To complicate matters, Mega Man slowly begins to learn that Dr. Light has been withholding information from him in regards to his true past and origin. Tired, brother? Donk. Pick your battles. See if you guys are saying anything. That's fine. Saying anything. The X series is fun. I don't know if you can tell, but I really like Mega Man. I guess we know now because you just said it. I can tell. Laugh out loud. Um, they failed at emulating classic Mega. That stuff was closer to Battle Network, but which physical robots instead of computer pro. Yeah, I kind of saw that anime one based on Battle Network. That one I saw that one a few months back. Not a fan of Battle Network. Nothing wrong with Battle Network, but they are lying about that show. Oh, that's okay, Leto. It wasn't traditional. I get not liking BN. The art looks cheesy on this comic, though. Laugh out loud. And you tell I really like Resident Evil. uh, Looks like Dave and Letter are having a pretty good conversation about Mega Man there. Let's see. As Mega Man battles Skullman and his army, a mysterious robot who reveals himself to be Mega Man's brother joins the fray. As the fate of Silicon City grows uncertain, Mega Man's sister, Suna, also enters the battlefield as the robot fighter known as Zero. Dr. Wily, a scientist who plays both sides of the war, looks to defeat Mega Man and his family and position himself as supreme ruler of the world. Da 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 da. In typical Mega Man fashion, Wily's plans are foiled. Ultimately, Wily flees, and Mega Man's brother cannot bring himself to rejoin his family in his frustration over Mega Man's mercy. Mega Man Fully Charged, both as an animated series and as a comic, is a retelling of a classic tale with a cast of familiar characters in a brand new world. Fully Charged acts both a stepping stone for new fans and a fresh take for those returning to the franchise. It aims to offer classic Mega Man robot action while also telling an engaging science fiction tale. Despite the brevity of both the show and the six-issue comic, Fully Charged built a whole new world for Mega Man to experience. Well, hey Dave, you're the Mega Man expert here. What do you say to all that? I can tell you. I can tell by you playing it a lot. Um, and DMC and Metal Gear. Oh yeah, I did. So Dave, you're kind of the Mega. I would say you're kind of the Mega Man expert here. What do you think? Yeah, if you heard me read that last paragraph there, uh, do you believe they accomplished their goal there of what they were trying to do? I'm gonna go off camera for a quick moment. I'll be right back. All right, I'm back. So let's see. What? Sorry, I was doing. We calling out. um, he wants your opinion about them making this new Mega Man comic book. Basically, I just simply asked if if you were listening in on, as I was reading the article there. Um, I wanted to just, since you're kind of the Mega Man expert, do you believe that they accomplished what their stated goal was there? That's basically what I was getting at. Hell no, my nephews still don't care about Mega Man, and I made them watch a couple episodes of Recharged with me. Oh, what about the comic? Did it bring in new fans? I doubt it. Forcing them to watch it laugh out loud, best uncle. Well, I mean, Dave Dave, tries to get his nephews into Nietzsche. Bat Goat, of course, is has already got his grandson. Getting his grandson into like classic cartoons. So I mean, that's kind of a cool thing. I know it's kind of funny to say, oh, we forced them to watch this or that, but you know. Anyway, so okay, so we're done with that article. So we'll probably move on to the next stories. And next couple stories are gonna be more anime. This is, this is in the comic section because they had a, they were they according to this, the comic found new life in the comic, helped this series find a new life for itself, according to this article. Um, there are a couple of stories here, and then okay, that's the second one. So, and I know some of you said you liked um, Ultimate Muscle, aka Kinku Man. This is it. This is the article that I was gonna read to you guys about. Um, I forced my niece to watch Dragon Ball with me um, when she was small. It's how they learn. Well, I don't know if depending upon how young she was, I don't know if you would force is really the right term for it. Yeah, if you want to see a cool Mega Man animation, all right. So, anyways, we're gonna go on to the next article here, which is regards to Ultimate Muscle here. Let's see, we're at 51:40, so guess we're making good time here. Ultimate Muscle might be the best for kids questionable anime dubs. Best of for kids questionable anime dubs. And I know that there's been a lot of criticism over the years for 4Kids but then in their defense, they're trying to make anime more suitable for what they believe children should be watching. And it's not the first time they've done it. If any of you are familiar with the history of Science Ninja Team Gachamon, Sandy Frank Productions did it in the late 70s there with Battle of the Planets. Kind of the term came to be known as battlerization. But anyways, so here we go. 4Kids was infamous for making many terrible anime dubs, but somehow the studio's work on Ultimate Muscle made the series better. You know, one of the ironic things about Ultimate Muscle 2 is that his family's finishing move, the Muscle Buster, you know who uses that move nowadays? Samoa Joe. Samoa Joe actually uses the Muscle Buster as a finisher, a move that came from the anime world. The Kinkuman manga been running since 19. Yeah, I know it's been around for quite a while. I think there was, I'm aware of the 2003 anime, but I think there was some earlier animes too. Okay, I'm done talking about makeup for now. Well, not forced, more like I kept the TV remote and said it was lost. uh, I love jelly donuts. Okay, anyway, so as we continue on here, in anime fandom, 4Kids developed a reputation for its terrible dubs of now classic anime such as Pokemon, Yu-Gi-Oh, and most infamously, a completely butchered version of One Piece. When anime fans hear the name 4Kids, they expect to find cheesy voice work, heavy-handed censorship, and absurd edits that often ruin the source material. Um, in their defense, however, at least on the heavy-handed censorship, now maybe this isn't the wisest move to do, but essentially what 4Kid was trying to do is they were trying to make anime more like a cartoon. And it just, you know, I didn't have a problem with the voice acting. I thought the voice actors were fine. Um, but in regards to like the heavy-handed censorship and absurd edits, I think the underlying problem there is when you're trying, what people tend to, a lot of people have this perception of anime that is, oh, it's Japanese cartoons. And that's not entirely true because cartoons and, well, cartoons is one subsect of animation. Cartoons are specifically catered to kids because we've had other forms of anime here in the States, and anime is like you look at like stuff like The Simpsons, Futurama. Um, let's see what else. Simpsons, Futurama, Family Guy, King of the Hill. Those are all classified as animated comedies. Okay, not cartoons. You also have a subsection that we know of as adult animation, which we see every night on Adult Swim. Stuff like Rick and Morty, Aqua Teen Hunger Force. And yes, I know my stuff is a little outdated here. Harvey Birdman, Attorney at Law, Lab 2021, Space Ghost Coast to Coast. So, we have adult animated animation there as well. But what For the Kids was trying to do, and maybe it just was not, probably just was one of those things that maybe they just should not have been trying to do in the first place. And that is try to turn anime into cartoons. You know, um, let's see if you guys are following what I said here, and see if you guys have any comments on that. Yeah, they changed it to be a Saturday morning cartoons. Yeah. I mean, and as I pointed out too, 4Kid wasn't necessarily the first company to do this either. Okay, I think one of the historically classic examples of this is Science Ninja Team Gotcha Man Battle of the Planets. Sandy Frank Productions try to do with Sandy Frank Productions what we're talking about here, the idea of turning anime into cartoons. Um, Plus, I bet they are trying to sell these toys of these cartoons and merchandise. Sheila. Yeah, one of the newer C Labs. Okay, so there was C Lab 2020 back in the 60s. That was a legit cartoon. Okay. Um, and then Adult Swim brought in C Lab 2021 in the early 2000s, which was more of an adult themed cartoon, adult animation. So if you're looking for me, I'll be under the sea. As well, you'll find me underneath the sea lab, underneath the water, sea lab, underneath the sea. I love the intro song. I'm thinking of the Adult Swim parody. Yeah, that's what I'm thinking of too. I believe Sea Lab 2021. That's the one I'm thinking of. Um, However, 4Kids' dub of Ultimate Muscle stands out by actually being good. Now, I know that it was Mark Thompson who provided the English voice of the main character, Kid Muscle. Okay. And Mark Thompson, you guys have probably heard you may have never known his name, but Mark Thompson is all over not just 4Kids stuff, but I mean, you can hear his voice in a lot of things. Outside of his work with 4Kids, let's see, in 4Kids, of course, he's involved with Pokemon. He was involved as Kid Muscle on Ultimate Muscle. He's involved. He provided the voice of Duke Devlin in Yu-Gi-Oh. Aside from of course, his work with 4Kids, he did a number of animes that were recorded by NYAV Post, including, of course, the lead characters in Shura no Toki, the Mutsu protagonist. Um, Also, Mark Thompson was involved with Daria. If you guys remember the MTV animated comedy Daria, Mark Thompson provided the voices of Mr. O'Neill, the very sensitive um, language arts teacher, and Kevin Thompson, the dunce of a quarterback. Okay, that one laugh out loud. Also repurposed Space Ghost cartoons. Yep. Anyways, back to the article here. Ultimate Muscle was released in 2002 as part of Japan's long-running Kinnikuman franchise. Kinnikuman started in the pages of Weekly Shonen Jump in 1979 and got its first anime adaptation in 1983. Ultimate Muscle wasn't the first time the series had stepped foot onto Western shores. The toys for Kinnikuman were imported and sold under the name Muscle. Millions of unusual small creatures lurking everywhere. However, the original Kinnikuman anime was not shown on American television due to being far too violent for American kids. And again, they did that. There were a number of dubs that they found like that's exactly what they did with Space Science Ninja Team Gotchamon too. When Sandy Frank Productions got hold of it, in fact, what happened in that particular case with Gotchamon, you know, now some of you may know it as G-Force, some of you may know it as Battle of the Planets. I grew up with it as Battle of the Planets, but the Battle of the Planets version, which was done by Sandy Frank Productions in like '78, um, they cut out so much of the material that they actually had to add something to the show. Okay, so imagine they literally cut out a third of the show, so they ended up having to add something to it to fill that time. Okay, if you think about it, if you do the math there, most shows without commercials run about 24 minutes, right? They run about 24 minutes usually. So they literally cut out a third or 8 minutes of that 24 minutes. And when Sandy Frank Productions dubbed Science Ninja Team Gotchamon, they actually had to add in the Seven Dark Seven character, where he's in that undersea lab. If you guys have seen that version, it's in that undersea lab, kind of acting as narrator and storyteller, as it were. Dario was an animated crush for very young me. Acronyms, laugh out loud. Muscle were like the homies figures for a while. Laugh out loud. Um, they really need to do a modern remake of Kinnikuman and Kinnikuman Nisei, so it can have a chance at gaining a bigger fan base in the West. Someone else actually remembers homies. I'm actually laugh out loud. Ah, okay, so let's see now. And here's a picture from that 2003. Ultimate Muscle follows Kid Muscle, son of the legendary wrestler and original Kinnikuman protagonist, King Muscle. However, unlike his dad, Kid Muscle is a coward and a weakling. Um, However, when the evil DMP come from space and start to beat the older generation, Kid Muscle has to knuckle down and learn how to fight so that he can protect the world via superiority in a professional wrestling ring. The Japanese version of the show does have a few differences from the For Kids version. It is more violent, with characters getting more visibly battered and bloody during fights. Some more overt, some more overt sexual references, and some partial nudity um, was also cut out. Again, the idea of trying to turn an anime into a cartoon. Some of the characters were also changed, with many characters having their forehead markings removed. Some characters, like the Native American stereotype Geronimo, and the Confederate flag wearing um, gorgeous man, um, were altered for cultural sensitivity reasons. The SJWs before they became a thing. Someone, it's in my blood to know. It thought that was your accent. What you mean? Oh boy. All right, let's be nice, guys. Your accent sounded Mexican, but I couldn't be sure. Sorry if I offended you. I remember the time Yu Hakusho was censored when one of the bad guys had a swastika on their heads. Excuse me a moment. I'm gonna need to go off camera. Just a moment, guys. I'll be right back. Okay. The dub changed many of the heroes' names, but these changed versions are often funnier than the originals. Um, Gazelle Man became the brilliant Dick Van Dyck, a frankly ludicrous reference to Dick Van Dyke. Uh, Dick Van Dyck. Okay. Uh, the best change has to be to the toilet themed wrestler known as Wash, or known as Wash Ass in the Japanese. Oh, uh, well, okay, another term they could have maybe used was um, Mr. Bourdet. Wash Ass. In the For the Kids version, he is called Hollywood Bull, which might be censorship, but is much funnier than Japan's more on the nose version. More on the nose version, okay. Hopefully that doesn't give anybody nightmares about swirlies. Uh, no, not offended. I didn't understand it. You mean I didn't understand your quote. I do now. Laugh out loud. But yes, that was my accent. Laugh out loud. Kid Muscle original name is Kiniku Montaro. Yep. In fact, they use that name Montaro a bit in the series. Hey, just got home. Evening, everyone. Hey, Anon. Been do most of the stories. Going to eat. Be listening in. Hey, Anon. Eat something good. Hey, Anon. All right, and there we go. Okay, so continuing on with the story, then. Let's see now. So the script takes an already silly show and moves it into gag dub territory. Every minute is packed full of rapid fire jokes, puns, and meta jokes that mock the ludicrous plot and strange animation. While some of the more overt, dirty jokes were cut, for kids kept a lot of the innuendo in, even adding quite a bit of their own. The whole thing feels like an official abridged series. This is topped off by some stellar voice work. Eric Stewart, James from Pokemon, from the first seasons of Pokemon, mind you, um, as well as Seto Kaiba from Yu-Gi-Oh! Let's see. Oh, those are the two main ones I can think of right now. Oh, Gowry from Slayers as well plays the announcer and the announcer and Dick Van Dyke, and Mike Pollock brilliantly emulates Danny DeVito from Disney's Hercules in his role as Meat Kid Muscle's trainer. Mike Pollock. Let's see. Who would you guys know him from? Let's see. In Yu-Gi-Oh! GX, he was the um, Napoleon-looking teacher at Duel Academy. I can't remember his name though. Kid Muscle's trainer. All the voice work is hammy and over the top, but it works perfectly with the source material. This is because when American audiences think of wrestling, they think of 1980s WWF, which was already a live action cartoon. When you have cartoon wrestling, it only makes sense to make it even more ludicrous um, than that. Yeah. I wonder. Here's what I wonder, because there was another classic wrestling anime from back in the 70s. It never got dubbed, but it did lead to um, somebody actually taking on the role in real life. Tiger Mask. I don't know if any of you have ever heard of Tiger Mask, but Tiger Mask was originally an anime that came out, I think, late 60s, early 70s. Had some movies and some sequels to it. And then there was a wrestler by the name of Satoru Sayama who took on the role of Tiger Mask in real life and had a pretty successful career in the late 70s, early 80s in the junior heavyweight. And then there were a few others who would, after he retired, would take on the role of Tiger Mask. So wonder if that one will ever get, because that one, from what I hear, is actually a pretty good one. Got a good story behind it. Just so I would hope they wouldn't like cartoon it like they did here, but yeah. Going to eat and be listening in. Okay, I think we saw the AN. Hey, did we get all? I think we got all that thus far. Had anonymity. Enjoy the dinner. Yeah, I do. Early wrestling is the best. Yeah, vaguely. Um, and of course, guys, also just for some, in case you didn't know, I have my latest Square Circle Calendar episodes up. If you guys haven't checked that out yet, if you guys want to go check that out, it's up now from January '76. Big Van Vader, Jushin Thunder Liger took their names from Go Nagai characters. Well, I thought Vader also had some reference to Darth Vader as well. When his first tour in WCW rather, when he came out with that huge mask and shoulder pad thing. Ultimate Ultimate Muscle was not popular in Japan, and the anime got canceled there. However, 4Kids version did so well on Saturday mornings that 4Kids commissioned more of the series. These new episodes premiered in America and wouldn't be shown in Japan until 2 years later. For once, a 4Kids dub far surpassed the source material. Yeah, actually, and this is not the first, and not the first. This is not the only anime in recent times that happened too. Ghost Stories was another example that happening where it was not it was so well not received in Japan. Ghost Stories was so well not received in Japan that um when ADV got a hold of it, they were told, "Hey, we're just going to give you just 2 or 3 things to follow. Aside from that, you can do whatever you want with it." So, and that ended up making the series even more popular than it originally was. So, yeah, because he had the cool elephant Vader mask. Um, Vader was badass. He was fast and agile for a big. Yeah, I mean, think about this: a 375, 400-pound man doing a moonsault. Guy who is what 6'3", 6'4", 375, 400 pounds, doing a moonsault. That is incredibly agile. You're right there, Leto. He was incredibly agile. So, yeah, so that's the end of this article. So we got one more to go. And in a moment here, let's see. Yeah, we're at an hour and 18, so I think we made good time tonight. Right? Here we go. The last main story of the night. Goku and Vegeta can stay Super Saiyan all the time, but there's a limit. So, as I said, a little Dragon Ball story here going on. Yeah, that was amazing. So here we go, on to the last main story of the night. In Dragon Ball Z, Goku and Vegeta are able to make Super Saiyan their base form, but how much further could they permanently power up? In the world of Dragon Ball Z, can you stay in Super Saiyan form all the time? The answer is yes, but with a few catches. Making Super Saiyan one's base form was part of Goku and Gohan's training leading up to the Cell games, and Vegeta proved he could achieve such power as well. However, as the Super Saiyan transformation evolved and new forms emerged over the course of the series, the answer to that question became a lot more complicated. Goku and Gohan Super Saiyan training during the Cell games. See them in blonde form there. Goku's suit is all like ripped apart. Prior to the Cell games, Goku, Gohan, Vegeta, and Trunks trained in the hyperbolic time chamber in groups of two, while Vegeta and Trunks tried to find a form beyond the Super Saiyan in order to make their power comparable to Trunks, Goku and Gohan realized that this really wouldn't help them all too much, since pushing their power further would give them increased strength but reduce speed and dexterity. Bigger, thicker muscles move a lot slower. Instead, they pushed to make Super Saiyan form into their base form. I actually learned Vader passed a few years ago. Yeah, he passed. I think back. I think it was in 17. He passed away. Um, Essentially, it was kind of well. I think he actually developed cancer. I think is what it was. But again, he was. I think he was only like 63. He was still fairly on the younger side. The transformation tables a lot of takes a lot of stamina. They have to rest. They lowered the cost of staying transformed by controlling their emotions or whatever. I thought, yeah, as is the key in a lot of series like that, emotions are key. It's not just Dragon Ball either. You saw it in Yu Hakusho as well. Um, Super Saiyan transformations require extensive amounts of power to maintain. Making Super Saiyan one's base form saves all the energy wasted on transformations. Saving the energy allows one to put even more power into their Super Saiyan form, increasing battle potential exponentially. Goku and Gohan spent an uncertain amount of time as Super Saiyans without ever reverting back, possibly several months in the hyperbolic time chamber. This is referred to as full power Super Saiyan. Becoming a full power Super Saiyan became a requisite for further transformations. Gohan couldn't become a Super Saiyan 2 until he made Super Saiyan his base form. It's implied that any advanced Super Saiyan transformation requires first achieving full power Super Saiyan form, meaning Vegeta, who later achieved Super Saiyan 2, is also capable of making Super Saiyan his base form. Can you spend a lifetime as Super Saiyan 2 or 3? So Goku, Gohan, and Vegeta could remain in their Super Saiyan forms for extended periods and do as part of their training. However, could they spend a lifetime as a Super Saiyan 2 or 3? While one might think the same principle would apply, it doesn't exactly. The original three Super Saiyan transformations are not separate transformations, but rather hyped up versions of the same core transformation. This is why Super Saiyan 3 burns so much of Goku's energy because he's pushing more energy through his system than he normally should be able to. This is also why Goku's Super Saiyan form becomes stronger as he trains. The stronger he is, the stronger his other forms become. It makes sense. By its very nature, Super Saiyan 2 and 3 can only occur if the Saiyan in question is exerting extra effort. Much like the Kaioken technique, Super Saiyan 2 and 3 cost a large sum of energy to maintain. By maintaining that form, Goku would only be increasing his base effort, allowing all his former forms to become stronger. However, by the nature of the technique, Goku can't turn Super Saiyan 2 or 3 into a base form. Of course, the strength that a permanent Super Saiyan form provides makes these additional levels unnecessary. You can spend a lifetime as a Super Saiyan God or Super Saiyan 4. I think we read that part. And the real question was Goku Super Saiyan when he impregnated Chi Chi with Goten? SSJ3 is at its most useful when you're dead. Explain why they are so weak as Super Saiyan. Explains why they are so weak as Super Saiyans in the Super Show. They gotten weaker. In Super, they were pushed against the bounds of humans or whatever. Each form is a boost of power from a base level. Hmm. Yeah. But according to this, you can spend a lifetime in Super Saiyan God or Super Saiyan 4 mode. So let's see how that works out. Almost paradoxically, um, it's actually easier to make a base form out of the far more powerful Super Saiyan God and Super Saiyan Blue forms. Super Saiyan God permanently transforms the person who channels that power. Upon transforming into a Super Saiyan God, their power is forever imprinted on the transformed Saiyan. All it takes is one transformation into Super Saiyan God to make the form a default. Super Saiyan Blue is what occurs when you transform into Super Saiyan while a Super Saiyan God. By that logic, then yes, Goku and Vegeta could undergo the same training Goku and Gohan went through during the Cell Saga and try to turn Super Saiyan Blue into their base form. Similarly, Super Saiyan 4 functions completely differently than Super Saiyan 3 and doesn't burn energy in the same way. In Dragon Ball GT, Goku can barely maintain his Super Saiyan 3 form, but he comfortably maintains his Super Saiyan 4 form like a normal Super Saiyan form. It makes sense that it would function closer to the normal form and allowing one to stay transformed for an extended period of time. And there you go. That's it for the main article tonight, guys. Are we at on time? So we're actually at the hour and 30-minute mark. Yeah, we actually measured out the time pretty well. Let's see. Yeah, let's see. We saw that. Saw that. I mean, 17 was taking on Super Saiyan Blue, laugh out loud, and 17 was a park ranger. Power boosting, ha ha ha. Hey, ranging parks is hard work. Laugh out loud. That one was good. Yeah. Again, I know there are a lot of people like we talked about this before, Tug and y'all Flash. They look at the more general, you know, you know, mainstream media stuff. I like to focus in a little bit more on, of course, the neat stuff: anime, manga, comics, cartoons. Because I personally find it interesting. I think in the looks of it, you guys do too, and as well as pro wrestling, um, particularly the older stuff. So I focus in on like releases or profile pieces like that. You know, because I think we all would find that interesting. Some of the behind the scenes stuff. You know, on some of the classics. So let's see. So, did you guys like the stories tonight? I've been picking some good stories. I hope you guys have been enjoying the stories I've been picking of late. So, I need some weed posters on your room. Yeah, I'm not really a poster guy or a merchandise guy. I'm not. You know, I think as action as toys would, as ATC would put it, I'm more of a collector of information as opposed to material stuff. You know, I know there are people out there who collect a whole bunch of like they collect all the toys, all the merchandise, and all that. But that's just never been my thing. All that stuff to me is just clutter. Okay. I enjoyed the stories, Mike. Yeah, Mike. Stories were fun. Yeah, and I'll have more, of course, tomorrow night. And as you guys know as well, Friday nights when I have Batgoat in here with me, we talk about some of the old comics. We look back at comic history as well, and just watching how comics evolved over time. That I find that interesting. I know Batgoat has, and I hope you guys have been finding that interesting too. Looking back at how comics have evolved over time. The steady buildup of you know the material. Various things like plot development, story development, all that. Hmm. I'm just busy tonight, posting funnies on mines to deal with my own sadness over the SN9 explosion today. I didn't hear about that, but won't be able to enjoy the stories to the fullest because I'll be heading to work um, while I'm listening. Yeah, I know that's the only thing on Fridays. You're going to work, so you sometimes you miss out on some of the history aspect of it. But um, just watch. Just talking about and explaining how the early comics went from like the mixed anthologies to the themed anthologies has been a fascinating thing to look at. Uh, oh, the SpaceX tech. You mean, Dave? SpaceX rockets fell down. Oh, rockets go boom. At 7 likes. Or well, technically. Yeah, I know, and I think some of you think and solid. I did see, and I was eventually able to respond to you last night on Nick's stream. I was just looking up and down the comments, particularly for that Ray Gordon guy's comments. And yes, Dave, I was fully aware it was liable to get pretty hectic in there. The only reason I even went in there is because I kind of caught the title there and wanted to see who was going after Nick this time. So, but that guy Ray Gordon, I think he's got a screw loose or two probably does need to have somebody send cops to his house to do a wellness check. Damn. At least it wasn't manned. Also, Lex Luthor stepped down as. Wait a minute. There was an actual guy named Lex Luthor? That was trending on Twitter. Trending. Ha ha ha. Uh, Ravers, Ravers, Satins, aka Jeff Bezos. Oh, okay. I get the joke. Yeah, I heard Jeff Bezos. Yeah, I heard that too. Bezos stepping down. Raver stations um, were great. I laughed myself to sleep um, on that one. Yeah, I just saw a notification. I think Nick is going to conclude that tonight because I just saw a notification something about all good stories end in trilogy or something. Here, let me go back and look that up real quick. Um, oh yeah, every good series ends as a trilogy. So I'm guessing it probably means he's gonna probably be finishing that stuff up. How about now? The dude was in the chat insulting everyone. Yeah, and the thing, yeah, even Ken Jennings is sitting there telling him he's just quit while he's ahead. But one of the points, and I super chatted this to Nick too. Um, but from what I understand, Asperger's is no longer classified as a diagnosis. Now basically everybody who's on the spectrum, on the autism spectrum, is now just given the autism diagnosis because the diagnostics have been changed where the focus of the diagnostic is more changed to how as opposed to the differing symptoms, how the overall effect is. So, and there were a number of different diagnoses on the spectrum. There's Asperger's. There was what they call PDD, which is pervasive developmental disorder, um, mild autism. So, but now they've all just under the one diagnosis of autism, or they basically say they're on the spectrum. He's a compulsive liar. He knows like everyone famous apparently, and has all the Sonics. Yeah, what I was thinking about that guy. I think he was just an attention whore. I think I think he's just so lonely that he somehow, and I'd be worried for Nick here too because I think this guy just, I don't know, I think he's just so lonely and desperate that he's somewhat fixated on Nick. Next, what? I missed that part. I fell asleep. He was in chat. He was in chat. He was in chat almost the whole time. Ha ha ha. Yeah, at Ray Gordon teaches chess. Practically auto completes in my phone. Um, I was telling him I love him so many times last night. You were, or was that, or do you think that's what Nick was probably thinking? Then I had to watch it. I saw the first one and first half of the yesterday's, but fell asleep. I agree, Mike. What do you agree that he's probably just a very lonely guy who's somehow fixated on Nick? Uh-huh. Yeah. I'll be right back. Gotta go off camera for just a quick moment. Hmm. I'll bet that there today. Uh, I I'll be there today to watch it. Laugh out loud. Mhm. Oh boy, he's seeking attention. He was literally saying stuff like Rodney Dangerfield used to hit on my mother in the elevator, and that his brothers or family are all millionaires or something. Huh? Yeah, well, some of the stuff he was saying, even I was calling out as like him making threats because there are a couple things he said there that actually did pretty much sound like they were borderline threats. Like, something like, well, he'll get his. I think was one of the comments I noticed, and I was trying to call Nick's attention to it. I think even Nick called him out on it. I guess because he made a similar statement in his messages to him. He needed to know that not one person in there actually wanted him to commit suicide. That's what he kept thinking, that he needs help. The chat was not the place to get it. Yeah, okay, yeah. If 100% agree, Dave. If you're looking to get psychological help from a Nick Rekieta stream, you belong in an. I'm sorry, but you belong in an asylum. I'm sorry. I know I'm laughing. Maybe I shouldn't if the guy is having some serious problems there. But if you've got issues and you're looking for psychological help on a Nick Rekieta stream, I'm sorry, but you belong in an asylum. Okay. Because that, if anything, a Nick Rekieta stream is liable to push you over the edge more than anything else. You know, Dave was pointing that out to me last night, about the whole possible hairiness of it. The whole I'm suing the guy, I'm suing the gay Satanist art film guy made me laugh a ton at work. He's out there talking smack about lady rackets. I don't care if the guy's logged out of life. Yeah, I mean, he was talking about calling the police, real Monica Rial move. Oh, I just thought of something. Wouldn't this be funny? What if they were able to track that track? I guess his name back, and we actually found that it was Monica Rial. Wouldn't that be funny? Maybe Ray Gordon teaches chess is actually in reality Monica Rial. What do you guys think of that idea? That was nice of you, Dave. It was hard to be serious in that chat because, well, anyway, but I've been suicidal and I kept hope. I legit hope he gets help. I doubt it though. He's a different kind of crazy than I was. Yikes. People who use the threat of I'll commit suicide on other people can just go bleep do it. It's not something to use to make people feel sorry for you. Yeah, I kind of agree with you on that one, anonymity. I mean, that's almost that's more desperation for attention. I think the guy seriously does need help at that point. Doesn't Ray Gordon have a YouTube channel? According to Nick, he does. Somebody, I think, looks it up like he does. We all been there, Dave. Stay strong. I feel like Nick mentioned him before and showed his face. Be sure it's not Monica unless Monica shaved. Yeah, I mean, okay, well, I was just thinking because I had not seen the guy before. I hadn't even heard of him before last night. So again, I normally don't go because I do other things, But I just figured, oh, who's going after? I was just thinking, oh, who's going after Nick now? Let's at least take a quick peek here and see what's going on here now. Who's going after him now? I'm better now. Stoicism, philosophy helped a lot. I think he meant like Monica calling Homeland. No, I actually thought that again. I didn't know that Ray actually was a person, or that I was just thinking that maybe Monica could have been using it as a cover or something like that. But you know, but you guys are saying he has a YouTube channel and people have seen his face before, so that's probably not it then. But all right, guys. Well, we're at the hour and 48-minute mark. Um, I know some of you are obviously going to want to probably head over to Nick's stream soon. So glad Dave been there during my drinking days. I'm a lot better now. Mike being a conspiracy theorist. I'm just throwing stuff out there just to ponder. I'm not really being a conspiracy, at least in that regard. Um, but anyways, guys, as I said, I know you guys probably want to get it ready to go over there. We're at like the hour and 49-minute mark now, so I think it'd probably be a good time to start wrapping things up. Are you guys ready for this day in each history? We had a good old time tonight with the stories and a little talk we had here. He can get there late. Laugh out loud. He's never on time. Yeah, before all you know, maybe Ray might be there. Maybe you guys need to help settling in. Need it up. Okay, so anyways, today is Tuesday, February the 2nd, and we are going to take a look back on this day in Nietzsche history. Nick is always late and Fagala anyway. Okay. Nietzsche it up, Nietzsche King. Okay. So here we go. I've only got a couple of pieces of Nietzsche news tonight. So some days there's a lot, other days there's not as much, but found a couple of interesting things. First thing we're gonna do is we're gonna go back. Um, okay. Yay, history! Uh, they got okay. Late in shame, late in shame. Okay. Anyways, okay. So first thing we're going to do, we're going to go back 75 years ago today. On this date in 1946, the Warner Brothers short Baseball Bugs, starring Bugs Bunny, debuted in movie theaters on this date, directed by Fritz Frayling, who would, of course, go on to form the company DP DePatie Frayling Enterprises that gave us the Pink Panther cartoons. But on this date, 75 years ago today, the Warner Brothers animated short Baseball Bugs premiered in movie theaters. In the short, Bugs Bunny single-handedly defeats the Gas House Gorillas, a baseball team of hulking, cigar-chomping bullies. The cartoon has been called Bugs at his best and is still referenced by baseball fans and observers. So, on this date, 75 years ago today, Baseball Bugs made its premiered in movie theaters. So, anyways, moving on to the other piece of niche history here. 75 years ago, and now, on this date, 21 years ago today, the first issue of Batgirl went on sale on newsstands for $2.50. It was a 36-page book featuring Cassandra Cain as Batgirl. Of course, the plotter, as it were, was Scott Peterson. Kelly Puckett did the writing, penciling done by Damon Scott, inking done by Robert Campanella, John Costanza doing the lettering, and Jason Wright doing the coloring. So on this date, 21 years ago today, in the year 2000, February 2nd, 2000, Batgirl #1 went on sale on newsstands. So that's all that we have for tonight, guys. I thank you again for joining me. Wow, didn't realize Bugs was in theaters in 45. Oh yeah, I mean, Warner Brothers and like a lot of the cartoons you guys probably grew up on, like the Saturday morning Bugs Bunny cartoons and like the Merry Melodies cartoons. Those originally were developed as short. If you remember, a lot of the like Bugs Bunny and Friends, those are package shows in which they just put a bunch of shorts together for like a half hour, you know. But they originally started out as theatrical shorts, usually meant as kind of icebreakers in movie theaters. You know, you go to the movies. If you went out to the movies theaters to go watch a movie, they might start you off before the movie as you're settling in with something lighthearted like one of those shorts. So let's see now. Yeah, we just realized that later. How canons have changed. She's Batwoman now, and Barb is Batgirl. Cassandra Cain is Batwoman. I thought that was Kathy Kane. Cassandra Cain and Kathy Kane are two different characters. Cassandra Cain was the daughter of David Kane. Thank you, Mike. Awesome stream, Mike. Have a great night. Thank you, guys. Yeah. Like Looney Tunes or whatever. Looney Tunes, Merry Melodies, yeah. Even the MGM cartoons were like theatricals and started out as theatricals. All right, guys. Well, anyways, thank you all again for being here tonight, and I will see you all tomorrow. Bye.